We just got a brand new patch with 4 new heroes. We got Gavin, Dark Hazel, Phyllida, and then there's this guy. Let's jump into him and take a first look. Welcome everybody, I'm BearCozy if you don't know me. Today we got a brand new patch. We got a few new heroes to check out, and without further delay, let's dive into it. The first one on the list is going to be Gavin. Gavin is going to be in the Lacer faction. He is right down here. He is a legendary, and he's got a pretty good kit. We're also going to look at Dark Hazel. We're going to look at Phyllida, and then we're going to look at Royce. Royce will come soon. All right, so looking at Gavin. Gavin actually looks okay. Looks a little bit like the Scarecrow, but the Assassin Dagger on fire, that's kind of cool. He looks like an assassin very, very much. So his trait is Onslaught. Attacks ignore 30% of the target's defense. The percentage is increased by 10% for every 1 positive effect on this hero. That's kind of cool. When he is ascended, he also gains random stats up. They've been doing that a lot recently with more and more heroes gaining random stats up. Looking at his basic, deals 130% damage to 1 enemy and gains random stats up for 2 turns. Moving over to his passive, he has a passive called Blade of Carnage. When attacked, if this hero has 2 or more positive effects, launches a counterattack with this ability to deal 110% damage to 1 enemy, and he recovers health equal to 30% of the damage dealt and duplicates one of the enemy's positive effects. So that is actually interesting. He duplicates one of the enemy's positive effects. I'm imagining on himself, not on the enemy. He duplicates it on himself, because if that was on the enemy, that would be very, very bad. So he doesn't steal it, but he actually copies it, which is kind of neat. I like that idea. And the recovery health is very, very good. That's kind of like Hitoshi's got that, where he has a lot of survivability because of the recovery. Looking at his ultimate, Furious Slam deals 220% damage to 1 enemy and gains immunity for 2 turns. Immunity is going to be awesome. If the enemy has positive effects or their health is below 50%, he launches a bonus attack with the special ability. That's kind of cool. So when you use the ultimate, he will not only gain immunity, but if the enemy also has positive effects, he will actually duplicate one of those positive effects on himself as well. So that's kind of cool because he will use his passive. I like that. That's a very neat kit, and I'm curious to see how good he is going to be in Roaring Tulpa 16. So that was Gavin. Moving on to Titan Icelands. Vengeful Hazel, who I'm just going to call Dark Hazel because it's easier. This guy has a lot going on, not only visually, but also with his skills. We're going to see that in a second. Visually, not a big fan. Way too much going on for me. But we're going to look at his skills, starting off with his trait. His trait is Iron Will. At the start of each round, gains 15% bonus damage reduction and 35% bonus resistance for each ally alive. That is huge. Attacks deal bonus damage according to this hero's max health. That's been happening a lot. Lots of new heroes with the max health, which is a little bit harder to gear because now you need better stats. You need really good stats, so not only do they do good damage, but you also need to bring their health up quite a bit as well. And then if we look at his basic, we got a wall of upgrades. I'm not sure what happened here, but this is a lot of levels of upgrades. And once he is fully upgraded, he deals 110% damage to 1 enemy. I don't think I like this, but this remains to be seen, right? This is a typical gacha game that's just finding more ways for us to spend our resources. So as time goes on, it seems like more and more things are just getting a lot more expensive, and everything is just costing a lot more. And I'm slowly losing the love for the game that I started playing way back in beta. So his basic deals 110% damage to 1 enemy with a 50% chance to launch a bonus attack that ignores 80% of the enemy's defense. Trigger chances increase to 100% chance if the enemy is a light hero. So that's kind of neat. He deals a bunch of damage to the enemy, 50% chance to launch a bonus attack, and ignore 100% chance if he's a light hero. I wonder how good he is going to be in hard, void tower, and arena. The arena, probably a stall defense team in arena. However, the chances to get him are extremely, extremely low. He also has a passive. Heart of Hatred is his passive. When a team member attacks, he has a 30% chance to launch a joint attack. When a team member is attacked, he's got a 30% chance to launch a counter attack to the attacker. They probably could have shortened that up, but that's the way it is, 30% chance all around. When an ally is killed, gains a bonus attack equal to 25% of their attack, up to 4 times. So if he's the last guy standing, he will get 100% bonus attack. Interesting. Of their attack. So it's not 100% of his attack, it's 25% of the heroes that are killed. That's kind of interesting there. That was his passive. Looking at his ultimate, Ritual of Death, he's got death immunity. Anybody who's got heroes with death immunity knows how good they are. For the rest of us, we're still trying to get them. So his ultimate deals 110% damage to all enemies, applies death immunity to all the team members for 1 turn. If that's not overpowered, I don't know what is. And last breath to slain allies. When the enemy is killed, it reduces this ability's cooldown by 1 turn. The only thing this doesn't tell us is what Last Breath is. I'm not sure at this point if Last Breath is a resurrection or if it's a one final act before they actually die. That is kind of neat. I like this guy. He's got a lot of health. His health is S tier, and he's starting out with a really, really nice base. The only downside is look at how many skills we need, how many levels you can upgrade his skills. That is quite a lot. Moving over to Phyllida. Now, Phyllida is going to be in Visitors by Sea, and she's an Ignite hero. A little bit of a lazy design, I think, from first impressions. Looks very basic. Looks very, very basic. We do have a very similar hero. She is in the Holy Light Empire. She's a common hero. And Imperial Crossbow Woman right there. So this is very, very, I would say, very lazy design. Just all they did was color the hood and call it a day. But let's go back and look at her. So other than the look, actually, she's got a pretty decent kit. She is an Ignite hero. So her trait is Volley Fire. Applies attack up to all team members for 2 turns. It's on a 5-round cooldown, which is really large. When Phyllida casts the ultimate ability, the trait ability's cooldown is reduced by 1 round. So every time she uses her ultimate, right, this cooldown reduction gets reduced from 5 rounds to 4. And then if we look at her basic, she deals 130% damage to 1 enemy and applies Ignite to them for 2 turns. So we are starting to see a lot more Ignite heroes, which is really nice, like Bach and like Azrina. Azrina might actually be very useful now since Ignite got reworked. Rapid Reload is her passive. When attacking enemies with Ignite, has a 50% chance to reduce the ultimate ability's cooldown. So you want her going second or third. You don't want her going first because you want her attacking enemies that already have Ignite. Trigger chance is increased to 100% if the enemy has 3 or more stacks of Ignite. That is really nice. That will reduce her ultimate ability. And then her ultimate ability, of course, will reduce the round cooldown for the attack up. So this is going to take a little bit of finessing to do to figure out how to use her to her max potential. Looking at her ultimate, she deals 220% damage to 1 enemy, increases the duration of all Ignite effects on them by 1 turn, and applies Ignite to all enemies for 2 turns. That's kind of cool. That spreads, so she deals a bunch of damage to 1 enemy, applies Ignite, and then she will spread it to all enemies, which is very, very interesting. She will not hit other enemies. She will just spread the Ignite. And I'm really curious to see how good she does in Roaring Topa, as well as with a team like Azrina and Bachelor. And last but not least is the Holy Light Empire, and that is going to be Royce. Royce looks like Vidar dipped in yellow paint, and that is it. Not a big fan. You guys judge for yourselves. Let me know in the comments what you think of Royce. I think he looks terrible, but that is my opinion. He just got dipped in yellow, and nice shoes, by the way. So anyways, let's look at his kit. He is a light hero. He's a light element. Looking at his trait, Radiant Soul is his trait. Gains control immunity for the first round in battle. When an ally receives control effects, immediately gains 1 bonus turn, up to 1 time per battle. So So that's it. That's maxed out right there. Damage reduction's nice, but he doesn't really have much going on. Looking at his basic, he deals some damage to one enemy, 100% chance to apply a silence for 2 turns. Silence is very, very good. However, the rest of it's kind of okay. The special secret sword, when a team member receives control effects, randomly removes 1 control effect on 1 team member and gains defense up for 2 turns, up to 6 times per battle. So the defense up is pretty good. However, if we look at his defense is pretty low starting out. So his attack is higher than his defense. Doesn't really look like a good hero at all. His kit definitely suits the way he looks. Let's just put it that way. Or he looks, I guess, as good as he is. So looking at his ultimate, Tremor Lash gains bonus defense pierce that scales with the number of control effects on both teams and deals 150% damage to 1 enemy. Damage scales with this hero's defense. The more defense, the better, obviously. However, his base stats are very, very low. At first glance, I'm not impressed with this guy. He might be good in a defense-heavy comp. That remains to be seen. But as of this point, I don't think he looks impressive at all. His kit is not impressive to me at all, with the exception of maybe silence. The defense up is all right. Not enough going on for me to like him. But let me know in the comments what you think, if you like any of these 4 heroes. I think Dark Hassel will definitely be the most powered one here, the strongest one here. Dark Hassel looks very, very good. And then Phyllida, being an Ignite hero, will be really good as well. Gavin looked kind of interesting as well. He's got a really nice kit. Probably going to be good in Arena, in all honesty. This guy looks pretty good. I am excited to see if we can pull him. Unfortunately, the new heroes are only available in limited summons, so that is not too good. But there it is. There is the first look on all of the heroes. I would love to know what you think on all of these heroes, who your favorite is and who your least favorite is. With that said, do me a huge favor. Leave me a like and a subscribe down below. Also, leave me a nice comment. And for more BearCozy videos, check out the top right.